Good evening. Today, my group and I are going to be debunking the myth that schizophrenics have split personalities. In my group is Julia Paredes, which is me, Jennifer Carrillo, Lizette Avenado, and Caitlin Rodriguez.
The medical term schizophrenia is a psychological disorder characterized by delusions, hallucinations, and disorganized or diminished speech and inappropriate emotional expression. Some symptoms are distributed perceptions, which are hallucinations that could be presented through the five senses of the human body, which are taste, touch, sight, hear, and smell. Another symptom is a disorganized thinking and speech, which is fragment thinking, which are often false beliefs, or in other words, a delusion. And another symptom is diminished and inappropriate emotions, where individuals express their emotions usually utterly inappropriate, such as split off from reality.
So, what exactly is dissociative identity disorder? Dissociative identity disorder, short for DID, and also known as multiple personality disorder, is a rare dissociative disorder in which a person has two or more distinct and alternating personalities. Here is a clip from the movie Split that visually shows an example of DID. In this,
kill me. Kill me. Wait. No. Don't do that. He can't handle reality. My name is Jade. Has Dr. Fletcher been getting our emails? This is what we have to do. As in 1008, when Anantapala suffered the Shahi's most crushing defeat and...
Some categories the symptoms of dissociative identity disorder fall into are behavioral, which includes self-harm, mood, which includes anxiety or mood swings, psychological, like depression, and other common symptoms like blacking out or amnesia. Interesting fact about dissociative identity disorder is that famous actress and singer and songwriter Lady Gaga has this disorder.
Men are usually diagnosed in their late teens and early 20s, while women are usually diagnosed in their late 20s to their early 30s. Symptoms usually are developed once you hit puberty. Your brain begins to change. The connections between nerve cells can be eliminated as the brain matures. As well, hormones play a huge role in men because they go through puberty earlier than women.
1,254 persons were surveyed at different neighborhoods to assess their knowledge, social distance, and perception of social discrimination towards persons with schizophrenia in the general adult population of Buenos Aires, Argentina. They selected a random group of people and separated them into three groups based on their ages, whether they were 18 to 30 years old, 31 to 64 years old, and 65 years of age and up. From there, they were placed into categories of whether they had any association with someone who had schizophrenia, their education status, socioeconomic status, gender, and whether or not they personally are attending a psychologist in order to evaluate where their knowledge of schizophrenia is coming from and where their bias is coming from. The table shows the groups of people, like the percent of women, men, the different age groups, their education, socioeconomic, and percentages of where they belong. So what in the socioeconomic status, it was the low class, medium low class, and these are just the percentages of what their population looked like, the different varieties of people that they surveyed. The results of the survey were that almost half of the general population believed that patients with schizophrenia suffered from split personalities and that most of them are dangerous and violent. Knowledge about schizophrenia in the general population was moderate, and it was associated with age and education. Almost 80% of the population had less than one-third of the maximum possible social distance score, but the perception of social discrimination was high. Social distance was greater in the elderly, and knowledge was correlated weakly with social distance. In this chart, people were asked different questions about what they knew about schizophrenia. The first question that they had asked this population was whether schizophrenic people suffer from split or multiple personalities, and 44.4% of the population said that they do, 20.7% said that they don't, and 34.9% of the population just did not know. And I think the high percentage of people who said that they do suffer from multiple personalities may have came from what they actually view or witness from other people who do have schizophrenia, or what the media has set up schizophrenic people to be, as they do tend to emphasize their reactions and personalities a lot, when really it's just that they are not able to distinguish what's real and what's not.
Why do people believe in this myth? There are 3 big reasons. To start off, being poorly informed about a mental disorder prevents one from fully understanding the effects it has on people and those around them. Compared to previous years, we are now more informed about schizophrenia, the symptoms and the effects it has on people. Yet there isn't enough awareness on schizophrenia and what sets schizophrenia apart from other disorders. In part, this is due to low awareness, schizophrenia, and the pre-existing stigma around mental health disorders and those suffering from a disorder, thus leading people to create stereotypes about what schizophrenia is and how people act. For instance, schizophrenics are seen as lazy, unreliable, and sometimes even crazy.
Psychologists have been able to help people who suffer with schizophrenia through different types of therapy. The first one is cognitive behavior therapy, and it helps them to deal with their voices and hallucinations, as well as a mixture of medications so they can eventually tell what triggers their psychotic episodes. The second type of therapy that they offer is individual psychotherapy, which teaches a person how to deal with their thoughts and behaviors. And the third is the cognitive enhancement therapy, which better recognizes the social cues or triggers that improve their attention, memory, and ability to organize their thoughts.
So, do schizophrenics really have split personalities? During further research our group did, we came to the conclusion that the myth of schizophrenics having split personalities is indefinitely false. The difference between schizophrenia and split personality is that schizophrenia is a disorder in which the brain's sensory receptors are getting faulty information about its surroundings, resulting in hallucinations. Split personalities is a result of severe trauma before the age of 5, forcing the brain to create different personalities as a form of escape. This misconception may have derived from the earlier belief that schizophrenia was a separation of the personality, thinking, memory, and perception, essentially implying that those with the illness have been split from their true selves. However, genetic research provides that schizophrenia is hereditary and has no presence of changing personalities. The hallucinations are what gives the impression of being someone else.